Hi Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is your December 2016 forecast. So until the 21st of December, the sun's going to be in your second house, and this is the house of resources, i.e. money, and it's about what we value. It's also about where we find security, usually by getting more of what we value in our life. So there can be a lot of focus on work and finances. Some of you may find yourself spending a little bit extravagantly because you're trying to accumulate more possessions, because at this time we tend to identify very strongly with what we own. Others may decide to throw a party so that they can show off their possessions, kind of like I rock, look at what I have, and this can all be done in a good spirit. Generally speaking, with the sun in the second, you're not really compelled to take excessive financial risks because you're more security focused. So you want to bring more of what you value into your life and make more money, but you don't want to lose it. So while you might be spending a little bit more, it's not going to be like that big financial gamble, the make or break situation. So feeling comfortable and secure and trying to get more of things that make you feel comfortable and secure. So Venus and Mars are also going to be together in your fourth house. So this can be a very good placement for entertaining guests, for relaxing at the home. Mars here also puts a lot of energy into the home, so you can get a lot of work done at the home, and this can be in terms of remodeling, redecorating, so feeling a lot of energy in that regard. Venus here, very sociable, very relaxed, wanting to have a good time. So this being done from the home can mean throwing parties or just relaxing and enjoying the comfort and luxury of home, and good food and conversation with people. You'll want harmonious interactions. For those of you in committed relationships, it can show a lot of chemistry in an existing relationship, and this Venus and Mars energy can also be good for stimulating contacts around family members. Venus here can help make the peace. So it is that time of year, so there could be a lot more social activity with family and close loved ones in your immediate circles, people that are important to you. So at the end of the month, we've got Mercury going retrograde, and Mercury is going to be retrograding in your third house. So this is the communications sector. So the traditional caveats when Mercury goes retrograde definitely apply to you. You want to check all your communications, you want to make sure you've got all the right information at your disposal, before you make a decision. So you want to check contracts and fine prints very carefully. And if you feel confused, this could give you a little bit of nervous energy, and you may need to get more information before you proceed and act. It's also a good time to repair your car, check your tires before long journeys, recharge your battery, and back up all data on your phone or computer. So because this is the communication sector, like I said, the traditional caveats apply a little bit more to you. So you want to check your communications very clearly, make sure that you've been understood, make sure people have received important messages. So check all important communications and make sure that you've been, you've made yourself clear. Because this is also the house of study and, courses of study, communications, teaching, publishing, it could also show refining or revisiting something. So, kind of reworking them, going over all the fine details, researching, kind of getting all the information that you need at your disposal, kind of reworking presentations, getting things ready that you want to present. Mercury is going to be in this third house until the end of January, although only retrograde for 3 weeks. So, this is very good for preparing, going through things with a fine-tooth comb. So let's look at what else is happening this month. So on the 1st, we've got Mars trining Jupiter between your 4th and 12th houses, and this is great for activity and initiative around study, research, things that you're doing. Like Jupiter in the 12th can show a course of study, whether it's self-discovery or just a totally new field. So Mars here puts a lot of energy into it. Mars in that 4th house of the home also could be good for getting things off the ground in terms of remodeling that you may want to be doing, or even for getting rid of old things around the house so that your new scheme can take root. So on the 3rd, we've got Mars sextiling Saturn between your 4th and 2nd houses, and this is very good for focusing on practical, tangible, concrete steps. This is for those activities that require diligence, patience, and planning. So you're able to work in a very disciplined fashion. So for you, this is around finances in the home. So it could be around property concerns or ways that you're using your resources to improve your home. So let's see how that works out for you. On the 9th, we've got the Sun sextiling Jupiter, and this can put you in a lucky and optimistic frame of mind. You know, you're thinking very clearly, and for you, perhaps this is around study or research or something that you're developing in private and on your own. So this is very good for gaining fresh viewpoints, for having clear understanding, for making the right kind of decisions because you're acting out of your own best interests. So on the 10th, we've got Mercury sextiling Neptune between your 3rd and your 5th houses. And this is one that stimulates the imagination. The 3rd is that house of publishing, teaching, writing, new courses of study. So this can stimulate creative thinking for you or a creative course of study. So you're not going to feel like detailed precision work at this time, but you know, your mind is really going to be roaming freely, making all sorts of connections. And if you are involved with creative work, this will be very stimulating for that. So on the 10th of December, we've got the Sun conjuncting Saturn. And this is going to be in your 2nd house. So this is that house of finances. And so budgets, financial concerns and obligations. Saturn and the Sun together bring up duties, obligations. And for you, this will be financial commitments, financial obligations. So things that you've committed to, that you need to consolidate. So this is very good for planning and organizing around financial matters. And, you know, so just focusing again on those practical aspects. It's not the enjoyable things that you want to do, that it's about those commitments that you've made and financial things that, you know, you have to pay off and do your due diligence there. So on the 12th, we've got the Sun sextiling Uranus between the 2nd and the 6th house. So the 6th house being the house of work and health, and the 2nd house being the house of money and resources. This can really, you know, inject new focus and new inspiration and energy into work projects or ways to make more money. So, you know, you could be studying new things to improve your work skills. Uranus is that planet of technology, so it could be computer skills or kind of, you know, technological capacities that you're improving or skills that you're honing. So new inspiration, new approaches to work, to finances. So see how that transpires. So the full moon this month is in your 8th house, and with the aspects to Saturn, it's again about duties and responsibilities and obligations around financial matters. So perhaps, you know, you may find you have to put out a large outlay of cash or settle some bills or pay your taxes, that sort of thing. So not necessarily pleasurable, or it could have, you know, a long-term financial commitment could come up under the spotlight, and maybe there's some review and revision and refining happening there. So Mercury goes retrograde on the 19th of December. And as I said, for you, this is in the communication sector. So you're really going to have to watch communications, watch maybe transport. So like I said, check your car if you're going on long journeys. The 3rd house is that house of short trips and day-to-day things. So you don't want to be inconvenienced. And as I said, make sure to back up data on your phone, on your computer, so you don't lose information. So clear communication, developing ideas. But Mercury here, also very good for, like I said, study and, research, and for perfecting things that you want to take to publishing or print. And so perhaps you're also thinking about things like that, like how to promote yourself better, how to market yourself better. So Mercury here has got that detachment. So, it is all about communication and revisiting and refining things and perfecting things. So it can be a very productive transit for you. So the Sun is also moving into that 3rd house, so joining Mercury. So, the focus is on 3rd house affairs, things that need to be attended to, communications that need to happen. So phone calls, emails, texts, letters. So doing all the things, there's generally a lot more tempo and busyness. So the pace gets upped a little bit with the Sun here. So lots of things need your attention. Things need to be brought to completion. So, quite busy, restless, and looking for new stimulating things. So Mercury here really, it's, you want your mind to be stimulated. So be sure to check out new courses of study or things that you want to, perhaps develop further and perhaps take to teaching or publishing stages. So on the 24th, we've got a major aspect happening between Saturn and Uranus, and this is between your 2nd and 6th houses. So this is an aspect that we'll see again in 2016, and for you, it's around finances, it's around work. Saturn has got that structure, stability, sensibility as well. It's all about practical, tangible results. And Uranus, of course, is all about novelty, originality, innovation. So for you, this is happening around the work and finances. So perhaps, you're working in a very steady and disciplined way, but with novel ideas. So improving your finances, change of focus at work. So very stimulating novel experiences for you coming in through the houses of money and work. So could be new avenues of financial opportunity and new avenues of work. So on the 25th, we've got Venus in your 4th house trining Jupiter, sextiling Saturn and sextiling Uranus. So it looks like you could be giving a party at this time with Venus in the 4th. You'll want to entertain. You'll want to be very generous with your guests. You'll want to connect with loved ones and friends. So Uranus also stimulating new contacts. So, be sure to extend those invitations and invite people around. So on the 26th, Jupiter opposes Uranus between your 12th and your 6th houses. So again, an aspect that we'll see more of in 2017. And for you, this is about those houses of organization, work, efficiency, personal study, self-improvement, bit of isolation, things that you're developing. So new opportunities to reform. And for you, this could be by letting go of certain things in your life, clearing out the clutter, making a clean sheet for new advances to happen. So some surprising things can happen. And these are opportunities to reform your circumstances. So see how you can make yourself more organized, more efficient, and more established, especially with the new year. So on the 28th, we've got the Sun sextiling Mars between your 3rd and your 5th house. So the 5th house being that house of play, romance, amusement, fun. So Mars is now in this house. So with the Sun and Mars working together, there can be a lot of passion, a lot of initiative. So if you are single, this would be a good aspect to maybe go out on a date or try something new. So feeling passionate and inspired, and for you it could be around, day-to-day affairs or some passion project that you're trying to develop. So fun, stimulating, exciting contact. So passionate initiative being taken. So energy and enthusiasm and vigor. So on the 29th, you've got the new moon in Capricorn in your 3rd house, in that house of communications, teaching, writing, publishing, self-promotion. And Capricorn here, it's very focused, tangible, concrete, strategic signs. So this is, of course, why we often have these sorts of sensible New Year's resolutions. But so you are thinking about how you can possibly promote yourself, market yourself, avenues that will result in improvement with regards to routine. And so with sextiles to Mars, maybe some cautious risks that you're considering taking. So see if you can promote yourself, or consider courses of study that will lead to self-development and self-betterment. So the month ends with the Sun sextiling Neptune in your 5th house. And this really is good for creative projects, personal business projects. You're feeling inspired and fresh. Neptune here is dreaming big, and so very good for creative work. The Sun also sensitizes you to things, so feeling intuitive and perceptive. So a lovely way to end off the year. If you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe. I hope you have a lovely festive season and a happy new year. Thanks for listening.